Greetings and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host David Danto, and for today, believe it or not, 2 weeks in a row, I have my buddy Pat Piwowarczyk with me. Pat, how you doing?
Doing well. Good to see you, David.
This week we are highlighting another one of Poly's terrific partners. We have Aaron McArdle from RoomReady on with us. Aaron, can you tell everybody who you are and what you do, what you've done in the industry, and what RoomReady is?
Yeah, I'm Aaron McArdle. I'm the CEO and founder of RoomReady. We started the business about 15 years ago, and it eventually turned into a technology company specializing in installation of video systems for primarily Fortune 500 customers. And we're all over the country. We work for some of the biggest integrators. We like to think of ourselves as the geek squad behind the Best Buy of very large IT partners. So.
And Aaron, you and I have crossed paths quite a bit of times. You know, it's not you might not be the largest known number one, number two, but you're sort of the secret sauce behind a lot of really terrific installations that have taken place in the industry. Some where you've been really innovative, where most people are using product A and you've found a way to make product B look better, or product C, which you invent in your shop, and get quite a bit of work done that way, right? With a lot of creative and innovative engineering.
Yeah, well, if you want to be really great at something, you have to have focus. And so when I started the business, we were a low volt company. We installed cabling, security systems, and AV. And as we evolved, we got to the point where we were just doing AV because we saw opportunity in the marketplace. And then we realized if we wanted to be the best in the world at what we did, we needed to be even more specific. So we install meeting rooms. That's what we do as RoomReady. We don't do a lot of the big flashy projects that other AV integrators get credit for, but we put in a buttload of meeting rooms for a lot of different companies all over the world. And so we've got 12 patents now, I believe is where we are currently on meeting room systems, technologies, inventions, ways to make a relatively boring process of, meeting rooms get exciting, at least to us anyway. So.
It is great to see Aaron, you here today, and all our channel partners. When David does the Poly Weekly News, we have the opportunity to highlight one of our great AV integrators. One thing that's great for me to see is just the depth of all our partners. Right, I think RoomReady provides a very unique avenue to our channel. To your point earlier about how you've architected your Geek Squad analogy. To Best Buy, I think what our partner base really enjoys is that they have the opportunity to leverage your talent in installation services in a way that does not conflict with the relationship that other channel partners want to bring you into. It is a very good firewalled relationship, and it's exciting to have all our partners play in our space in a very professional and, there's obviously competition, but in a great way that could be leveraged and continue to build relationships. I've seen that over the years. You interact with a lot of other channel partners, and it's a great relationship and people entrust in you. And I think that's something that is always great to see. And it's awesome when we can highlight some of the unique things you guys are doing like we're doing this week. So it's good to see you this week.
Yeah, thank you.
So Aaron, tell us a little bit about what it's like working with Poly as a partner. What are some of the good experiences you've had, and some of the good installations that you may have done with some of our gear and our people?
Well, Poly, especially after COVID, there was such a influx of products into the marketplace, right? Everybody had some kind of a gadget that they were trying to get in front of a customer to solve some specific problem. And so with Poly's reputation, right, it was easy to cut through some of that and say like, yeah, I've never heard of this company before, even though there are things cheaper and blah, 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 whatever reason they were coming to the customer with. We were able to say like, this Poly, you know of them, they're going to take care of you. We know the product's good. We have history. And so a lot of times it helped cut through the noise of everything else that was happening in the market because, you've been there before and they knew that you'd stand by your products. And so we've had a lot of good luck and it's not luck, we've had a lot of successful outcomes with the Poly equipment and solved some really great problems for customers. We've had a couple rooms where one specifically comes to mind was for a private equity firm in Pasadena. And they had acoustically a terrible room, but the ceiling was hard, big table. And and it was going to be really, really expensive to get microphones and speakers into the ceiling. And we ended up using the X70 speaker bar in the room by itself, totally not what any AV engineer would recommend. I'm sure, coming out of the box is certainly not what our engineers recommended when I sent them the pictures and told them about the opportunity. And that equipment for that room specifically blew us away on how good the audio was for that. The microphone, like there, to the point where like, well, this actually probably won't work, but let's see if it works well enough that we don't have to spend all this money on the ceiling retrofit. We put the system in there, and it just worked, and the customer's ecstatic with it. I think we saved them like $50,000 worth of painting and drywall and access to the ceiling. And that's one really small example, but that was just one that, we were just completely blown away by how well the audio system just worked in that device and just works, right? And I think it's been in there a year and a half now. I had one service call because cleaning people came and pulled the TV out away from the wall and didn't push it back. And so, if that's the only service call I get in a room like that in their executive space, I'll call that a win all day long. So,
and in fact, you're going to have to go back to that customer, assuming you still have a great relationship with them, because in the year and a half that you've put that X70 in, we've just improved the technology for the audio pickup with a process called reflection reduction, which literally blows me away. Where we had been talking for years about how in order to have a good experience, you have to have a microphone close to your mouth, you have to have microphones on the table or on the ceiling or whatever. And when you put this, what AI and machine learning is able to do in the algorithms in some of these devices, all of a sudden it sounds like you're talking directly into a microphone when it's 20, 30 feet away from you.
Yeah, it's amazing what you have done with technology that 2 years ago I would have said was impossible, right? Like, oh, we'll never be able to work from wherever you want to work from because of whatever the limitation is, and doesn't exist, right? It's unbelievable. So the acoustic fencing that you do, all the different noise suppression stuff is just, it's magic to me. So kudos to you.
Yeah, let me take a moment here to play that clip of reflection reduction so people can get a sense of what we're talking about. Here, take a look at this.
Reverberation can be a major issue in video calls, especially in larger spaces that have a lot of glass walls, like you see here. And you might notice this even more as people start to turn away from the microphones to talk to someone who's sitting more in the back of the room.
Typically, to remove these audio artifacts, it would require acoustic paneling or complex hardware microphone arrays, and these can be very costly and time-consuming to install.
And now, with voice clarity enhancement from Poly, reverbs can be removed from calls via software upgrade. So let's turn the feature on. Voice clarity enhancement is now on, and you should be able to immediately hear the difference.
And this is true even for those who are sitting further away from the microphones. You should still sound close and clear, even if you're turning away to talk to someone who's sitting in the back of the room.
I'm still just amazed by how good that technology is. It's really interesting. So I can't wait to see what the improvements are that we make with the software as we keep going forward with it. So Pat, your turn.
Yeah, you know what? It's amazing. And I think, once again, our technology really partnering closely with our channel partners is probably the best thing that goes hand in hand with the innovations we've built in. Aaron, I know you have a newly installed solution to one of your customers. Maybe you could tell about what you've done with Lightware. I think that would be a great segue into what you guys are doing. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, so we have within RoomReady, we have our core values, and for our core, or I'm sorry, not our core values, our 3 uniques, and one of our 3 uniques is simple is better, right? And so we focus on how do we make meeting rooms as simple as they can be, but not simpler, right? Not too simple. And so within a lot of meeting spaces now, especially, we've got customers who want to have numerous platform options for their customers. And so when we deliver a room, we generally have to do some sort of a BYOM, BYOD solution for the customer so that they have that flexibility. And we end up choosing the Lightware paired with the Poly endpoints. It reduces the number of cables you need. It charges your laptop while you're plugged in. Just, you think about how do you make things better for a client, and we talk about technology all day long, and sometimes it's the number of cables you need to drag around, what the desk looks like, how messy it is. And so any improvement we can make to make a meeting space simpler, more cost effective, more dependable for the customer, we do that, right? And the Poly hardware is rock solid. We don't have any issue ever, hardly, with it. And the other thing we have to think about is what other peripheral we're going to put in the room, because the customer's perception is that whole room is a Poly room, right? If they walk in and the switcher doesn't work, the controller's not doing what it's supposed to, they're going to say, well, this Poly stuff isn't working today, right? And we want to make sure we make a good match when we put things in. And so we do a lot of testing within RoomReady to make sure that the systems that we pair are at the same quality level. And so we chose the Lightware Taurus system for the customers and this was prior to, you launching your BYOM solution. So, and now that's our go-to. So
Awesome.
Yeah, if my understanding is correct and the way I've followed your company, you're constantly making changes and updates to recommended platforms. You want to, as a new technology comes out, you want to stay with it. I know, the HP, the Poly gear wasn't the first thing that you were installing as an organization. And, you've moved closer to that over the years because, again, you want to put in reliable, easy, inexpensive gear, and Poly makes it. Tell us about some of your larger companies, your larger installations, if you can. I know you can't mention the names, but give us a sense of what it's like doing the work that you guys do.
We have one customer right now that's underway. They're a holding company for about, I think they have just over 600 different marketing agencies. And so they have 750 buildings across the continental US. And then within those, there's 4,000 or 5,000 meeting spaces. Now, the interesting part about that customer is they grew through this as an acquisition. And so all these different agencies that they pulled in had different CIOs if they had one, right? They had different visions of technology, different local integrators. And so we now service that whole organization as one large company. And so we're, putting in systems that are consistent, that are simple, and that they can use for all the different platforms they need. But for a day in the life for a RoomReady tech is to leave on Monday morning, catch a plane to some city, install a meeting rooms for 3 or 4 days, and fly home on Friday. So we spend a lot of time on the road. Very thankful for our guys doing that, but that's how we ensure the quality of service that our customers have come to expect. So.
And just to clarify, I know Pat had mentioned this earlier in the call, but I want to make sure that we're perfectly clear. Your customers are often the end users who've called you to do some work, and your customers are often other integrators that want to have somebody who specializes in putting in rooms and do the quality work that you do. So you will work for the end user customer and have that relationship, but you'll also work for integrators and be their installation arm for some of these things, correct?
That's actually our go-to-market strategy, is to market to large IT resellers that don't have an AV capability, but want to make those products available to their customers. So we do work with a few customers directly, end user customers directly, but our majority of our customers are other partners, other resellers, and then we'll work with them. And one of the things that makes us unique is we're not competitive at all. So if a IT reseller takes us into a client, we just ask them what parts of the sale do they want? Do they want to sell the HP Poly gear? Do they want to sell? Some want to sell displays because they have that capability, and then we just put all the other puzzle pieces in to make sure that to the end user customer that it's turnkey and that they don't see any of the complexity behind that. So,
well, we appreciate you as a partner and a partner to our other partners. And right now is a very unique time, right? It's been a year now under the HP umbrella, so we appreciate you also, Aaron, being an HP partner. And obviously, many of our partners are going through this time of integration as we move away from the Poly-centric tools into the HP-centric tools scenarios. So we appreciate you. And just another commercial for anyone wanting or has a desire to be an HP partner and sell the Poly solutions, right, go to hp.com, and how to become a partner is right there for you to leverage. But we appreciate your organization, Aaron, and everyone that we work with day in and day out, and just the professionalism and really the quality of service that you provide to our entire channel. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm making it a career to stick hanging on to your coattails. So,
Coat's getting long. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Aaron, if somebody wanted to find out more about RoomReady or wanted to get in touch with you to talk to you about perhaps helping them with an install or being a partner of theirs, what do you suggest they do to reach out to you?
Go to roomready.com. You can get our contact information there. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm Aaron, Aaron at roomready.com. Give me a call, shoot me an email.
Terrific. Thank you very much. And Pat, for the same question for you, if one of our partners or potential partners wants to reach out to you and find out about our new channel program, it's the new, help me with the name. It's the Amplify.
Amplify is the HP program, and Poly is just one of the handles within the umbrella of the Amplify program.
So how would somebody get in touch with you?
Just as easy, same way, Pat.Piwowarczyk, I know it's a long last name, at hp.com.
Terrific. Aaron, Pat, thank you very much for spending time with us this week. And thank you very much for watching the show every week to find out what's going on in the HP Poly world. For all of my colleagues at HP and Poly, I'm David Danto. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.